Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Some serious pride on the line in this contest as these two divisional rivals take the field together for the first time this season. Almost a playoff atmosphere surrounding the game between these two bitter opponents. It's the Buccaneers going up against the Panthers. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
Larry, from the home of the reigning NFC champs, there's a look at Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Tonight, we wind up Week 5 with a good battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Fozzie Whitaker now on the return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the former Auburn man, Charles, hard to believe, already in his 6th year now, Cam Newton.
And every eye in the stadium goes to him as soon as he appears, doesn't it? There are very few players that have that type of effect. Doesn't matter whether he comes out for warm-ups, whether he's come out for the game, to start the game the first time on the field. All eyes on number 1, and rightly so. He may be the best player in the game.
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
This is Jonathan Stewart, and he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Have they come up with a nickname for just Jonathan Stewart? Remember when it was double trouble when he's running with D'Angelo Williams in Carolina? But boy, what a year he had in 2015.
Yeah, it was just 11 yards shy of 1,000, so close, but kind of stepped out of that shadow, didn't he?
Certainly did, and gave the Panthers a real identity running the ball.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now Stewart on first down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
Kelvin Benjamin has to be a feature of this offense that's on your screen now.
Definitely a number 1 receiver, a huge target with some speed. It's almost like go-go gadget when he goes up to get the football. No matter how you defend him, he can go just a little bit higher.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Newton now to throw. And this This is going to be incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and it's 4th down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
On 4th down, the Panthers hand things over to the veteran Andy Lee to punt it away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And not great starting field position here for the offense. Now the first carry for Doug Martin. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Jackson's got it over the middle. And a loose football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. And defensively, maybe an opportunity miss there.
No doubt about it. When that ball's out, all you're thinking about as a defender is, this is our chance to make a huge play. Instead, he's able to recover his own fumble. Big sigh of relief, huh?
Yeah, usually those wide receiver fumbles, there's open space around for the defense, but not there. He hops right back on it. First down, here's the run with Martin. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Coney Ely in on the tackle.
In 2015, we saw the Doug Martin that we saw as a rookie, didn't we?
Absolutely. A 1,400 yards, second only to Adrian Peterson last year.
And he really helped a young quarterback develop by taking a lot of pressure off of him.
Now he feels good coming off that 5-year deal he signed in March.
Feels even better about that.
They run it again with Martin. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. On 3rd down, Winston. And a catch right side by Evans. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And that's the first connection. The #1 overall pick in 2015, finding the #7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
Jameis now on first down. Goes underneath to Martin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
They go play action here on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
On 2nd down, Martin. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game. And the Panthers bring in their nickel set as they try to defend here on 3rd down.
5 defensive backs. Here's Winston. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
Pass interference. Defense.
So a pass interference here, and this is obviously a call we see all the time, but for the defender, it's becoming almost impossible to play defense in some of these situations.
You're trying to play through the receiver to the football. If there's any contact at all before he gets there, those officials will throw the flag and call interference.
Following the penalty, Martin, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
2nd down, Winston. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
And they pick up a 1st down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL.
And now loose football, fumble. Martin lost it, but it looks like a Buccaneer was able to corral it. Yes, the Bucs have it. Tampa Bay keeps the possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. Time running out here on the play clock. Now Jameis on 2nd down. His throw incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And let's see 6 defensive backs out there. They're in the dime here on 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
3rd down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And Aguayo able to knock it through. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So they get the field goal, but partner, that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally, when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't, but really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. This is taken at his 4. Solid return. Pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And the Panthers coming out now. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. You took the words right out of my mouth. The starting 11 defensively for Tampa Bay.
Vaughn Alexander is one of the exciting linebackers in the league. His forte, speed.
Here we go with 2nd and 7. This is Stewart again. And Stewart lost the football. It's loose. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Here's the Panthers defense as they get set to go again. And last time out, they gave up the chip shot field goal, but obviously it could have been worse than that. I think they felt pretty good about only giving up 3.
No doubt about it. Anytime an offense gets into the red zone, the thinking naturally for the defense is, okay, 3 points. We're going to give up 3 here, but let's make it no more than that. They met their goal.
On the other side, though, the offense, they weren't very happy.
No, because there's an opportunity. Once you get to the red zone, you're not thinking about kicking a field goal. You're thinking about how do you get into the end zone, and when you don't, you walk off the field feeling a little bit of failure on that drive.
Yeah, who will have the better feeling at the end of this drive? 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. So we played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. 3-0 is our score. We're back to Uptown Charlotte after this timeout.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the 2nd quarter. They've got a 2nd down at 5 here to start things out. Again, it's Martin. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Brandon, there's no doubt the defense has to be excited after stacking up back-to-back running plays. But I still remember my old coaches saying, after you've had some success, you better be careful. They might have an answer for you. So make sure you watch your keys, play your techniques, and don't get overconfident.
So they got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target. And it brings up 4th down.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And Aguayo's kick is good. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they recover the fumble in plus position, but they can't go anywhere. In fact, they go backwards, but they do get a field goal out of it.
They'll take the 3, but in a lot of ways, they feel like they let themselves down by not capitalizing, and they definitely let the defense down for getting the key turnover.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, fifth defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. On first down, Newton. Caught on the left side by Ginn. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Fresh set of downs here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
They keep it on the ground again to Stewart. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Now the Auburn alum, Artis Payne. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll come out in the pistol. They stay on the ground. This time it's Stewart. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. And now Stewart still down after the play. And you hope it's not a re-aggravation of that foot injury. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And the Panthers in for the score. And we certainly know that Cam Newton can do just that. He had 10 rushing touchdowns last year and a nice one there.
And it wouldn't surprise me if one day that number got up to 20 if they so chose, because of his frame. One of the bigger, stronger players in the league, especially at his position. When he carries the ball and gets a full head of steam, you're dealing with a full-grown man.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. And his kick is right through. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And Cam able to take it himself in for the score. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. On the return, here's a speedy Jamison Crowder. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. We get a look at the Carolina defense as they work their way into position. And they've got the lead. Last time they surrendered the field goal. We'll see what they do this go-around.
And giving up 3 is never ideal, because any defense wants to pitch a shutout. But that's not a bad thing in most situations. You only give up field goals, your team has a chance to win.
Yeah, and they still, as I said, they've got the lead here. We'll see if they can get a stop and hold them to 0 points this time. Jameis now on 1st down. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
One man on the backfield, that's Martin. And he'll get it up the middle. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
One receiver to the left is Evans. 3rd and short yardage, Winston. Jackson's got it over the middle. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
And a 10th carry here for Martin. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. Tackle made by K'Wan Short.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 2nd down, 8. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. On third down, Winston. And Brate, the tight end's got it. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On fourth down, one of the Bucs off-season signees. It's the former Jag, Brian Anger, to punt it away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They'll start the drive with Artis Payne. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Kind of running there at your own risk against that 4-3 and that big line, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't really run it against a good 4-3 team that well because I've got to get those guys on the move a little bit. If you're a static running team, meaning you just want to run it in the middle, you may have some trouble against good defensive tackles. That's what we just saw on that play. No gain.
They'll run again here with Artis Payne. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Tackle is made by Clinton McDonald. Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now. Now a play fake, and it's Newton. He gets it to Brown. Complete. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. These guys told us, these guys being the coaches, they wanted to really stretch the field, get the ball down deep. They were able to do that here.
And you know when you stretch the field, you often leave guys in one-on-one situations, and that allows your better athletes to go up and get the football. I love the preparation that they put into this. They made it a priority, and they got what they expected.
A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Larry Ridley will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Throwing is Newton. It's brought in right side by Ginn. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. And the D-line pinching together, must be expecting the run. To throw on second down is Newton. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He'll hit Whitaker in the flat, and he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside, not easily covered. And then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the first. Now a first down throw for Newton. And this one brought in by a man who missed all of last year, Calvin Benjamin. First and 10, Newton. Caught on the left side by Ginn. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And now the offense operates in the red zone. Throwing again is Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Running it here, Artis Payne. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Cameron Artis Payne. His first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played, the analytics, there's going to be a lot more going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
So that one, a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. First down, Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On second down, Winston again. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And now they're in the hurry-up. One man on the backfield, that's Martin. Winston now from the 50. And this is going to be incomplete. And that was incomplete, but I don't know how much of that falls on the quarterback. He was pressured.
Brandon, the rush showed up so fast, the quarterback had no chance to get the ball downfield.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now, this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Here's a handoff to begin the drive to Artis Payne. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Panthers wanted to put last week's game behind them, and they have so far today. The Buccaneers know they'll have to be at their best in the second half if they want to find a way to win. All right, let's roll the highlights. Panthers have it at the 12. Newton's going to head outside to the right, and he'd go in for the 12-yard touchdown. They go up by 1. Panthers take over late in the second. He'll head outside to the right on the run, and he'll end up sprinting into the end zone, which takes the lead to 8.
Thank you, LR. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Winston gives to the tailback, Martin. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
Charles Johnson's stock in trade is coming off the edge and getting to the quarterback. He knows how to make some of those subtle moves inside to help in the run game, and he did it right there.
He's an athlete back in high school. Played football, basketball, track, so he's a mobile guy.
Mobile guy, made a nice play against the run.
Throwing, Winston. And that is incomplete.
I wouldn't be shocked at all right now if there's a look of surprise on the big fella's face because he had the route that he wanted, running the corner, and usually he's able to use his body and catch the football, but a really nice play by the defenders, able to knock it away.
And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Panthers will get it here as they take possession. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Back to the air, Newton on second down. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a first down there, just 1 yard. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Has a pretty good throw on the curl route there. Third down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it's so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it with Artis Payne. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Stays on his feet. And he's got some space here. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Carolina. Cameron Artis Payne with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Panthers add on to their lead. Not only touchdown number 2 for him, but a big run to boot. However, still trailing.
Still trailing, but not because of his efforts. Boy, he's playing really well, and I love his long speed there, right? Able to get out there and burst all the way to the end zone, and smart enough to keep the ball in his hands and get into the end zone for the touchdown. In 2016, on all levels of football, we're seeing guys drop it before the goal line. What's the rule, Brandon? Run into the goal post.
That's right.
Before you drop the ball.
That.
There you go.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Second down and 4. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now a second down throw for Winston. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
Third and long for Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
very difficult night for the guys on offense. They've got to be looking at each other in the huddle and on the sidelines. How are we going to find some open space to complete a pass and find open room to run? This defense all night long has squeezed down the passing lanes, made plays on the football. It's really been a thing of beauty for them. He's got to figure all day long prepping for the game. They had to have talked about it again and again. Squeeze passing lanes, and we'll be in great shape.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Carolina getting set to take the field. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kissed it on the ground. Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
There's Newton now on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Throwing on third down, Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third.
There's a good push to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
Now Artis Payne. And he is going to lose yardage here. So they got the deal done, and now he can just focus on football. He's got that behind him. Family not going anywhere, staying put. He can focus on football.
And I like how you mentioned the family, because that's a huge part of it, because everyone needs to be happy and comfortable. And, you know, while this process was going on, people had to be wondering, especially within his own crew, are we going to have to move? Are we going to have to change things? Not anymore. They get to stay where they're comfortable and familiar.
On second down, here's Newton. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. Will the defense dial up the pressure? Let's see. 3rd and 11. From the gun on third down, Newton. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They go play action here on first down. And a catch right side by Evans. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Winston with a give to Martin. And he's got room. And he'll cut it out to the sideline. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Doug Martin, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Roberto Aguayo now for the point after. He's got it. They're back within a score. It's 8, 21-13. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Our eyes shift to the defense of the Buccaneers now. They're hoping to keep this margin right where it is, trailing third quarter. Don't want to get down anymore.
You're exactly right. They're in no position to give up any more points. They have to keep it in a spot where if their offense does catch a spark and get hot, they've got a chance to come back and win this game.
I guess the word manageable, you always want to keep it manageable, right?
Make sure that the game doesn't get away, and mentally you look up at the scoreboard and say, there's no chance of us coming back.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. In the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get a hook and let a running back get outside, because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
To throw is Newton, and he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. Here's Andy Lee now, as he's on to punt for Carolina.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. Now it's Crowder. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Doug Martin now gearing up to go again here on offense. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax. You don't have to be perfect. Get as many guys as you can, but if you leave one free, the great runner will either make him miss or go through him. So don't worry about that. You don't have to be so precise. Just go ahead, block some people, try and create some room, and allow him to go to work. I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. They come out here in the eye. They run. Martin. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On third down, Winston. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. With it is Brown. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. 2nd down, and the offense in search of 6 yards. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just goes right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker. And while it's highly unusual for NFL teams to think about using their quarterback on key 3rd down runs, none of those teams, save one, has Cam Newton. He's unique, one of the biggest quarterbacks you'll ever see. Give him the ball. Let him pick it up.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Here's Newton now on 2nd down. It's caught right side. Dixon. Touchdown, Carolina. And Dixon, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was a prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
Gano for the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. A drive there of just 4 plays. And a gadget play gets him into the end zone. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Now it's Crowder. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
Now Winston. He completes it to Evans. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
Illegal block in the back. Offense. Still first down.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up second down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Pass incomplete. And you really can't pin that one on the quarterback, Charles. The O-line, they've got to protect better.
And they know it. That's their meal ticket. They want to take care of the big guy behind them. In this case, they let him down.
Winston from the gun on third down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
It's complete right side to Benjamin. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it a second down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They'll toss it to Artis Payne. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that load in the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
The pickup of 11, and it moves the chains. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun, fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Cameron Artis Payne, his 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Panthers add on to their lead. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. What a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and he's got him in the lead. And he's got it up and through. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was all finished off by the 17-yard touchdown run. now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Now it's Crowder. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. We get a look at the Panthers defense now. And the interception the last time, their third takeaway of the game, Charles.
They're just flocking to the football so well. And not only are they doing that, they're making big-time plays and taking it away from them. Big hits, big plays. They're looking very good in this ball game.
You said flocking, flying to the football. Coaches always use that, don't they?
They really do. It's almost, it goes back to the old, when they click off the frame at the end of a play, they want to see all 11 defensive guys in that picture. When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Here's Artis Payne to begin the drive. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. So Carolina eating some clock on the ground there, and part of why they were the NFC champs last year, number 2 as a team in the running game.
They played their identity last year. Offensive line, they could move people in the run game. Jonathan Stewart running it. Of course, big Cam Newton could be a short yardage guy. And remember, their head coach, Ron Rivera, a defensive guy. They love to run the football.
And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there for Carolina. 41 yards on the ground. So quite the turnaround in this one from a week ago. And in the meetings, I made a faux pas of asking, hey, did he tweak something last week? Because we thought he just didn't look the same, but he's fine.
And I was so glad you asked that question. I mean, you had to take the brunt of the whole thing, and, of course, I sold you out on it. But
took one for the team.
You knew I was there with you, right? It was a legitimate question, though, because last week, we didn't see what we're seeing today. The quickness to the hole, the ability to make cuts, the good vision. We didn't see any of that. He seemed a little bit sluggish in last week's game. Not so this week. Whatever the preparation was, it's working for him.
4th quarter, 2-minute warning about to hit, and it looks like they're going to get one more play in.
Be interesting to see what they try and do on this play. Do they try and take a shot, or do they just try and get to the 2-minute warning?
So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. 2nd down and a little ways to go here. 2nd and 13. Artis Payne. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. And the dreaded 3rd and long here for the offense.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4th.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And Gano's kick is right through. And that'll extend this lead now up to 25. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. So the incomplete pass brings up second down. Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. Evans has it left side. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And the offense moving quickly to the line. First down, Winston. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for Carolina, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Panthers are winners here as we say so long from Charlotte.